Hello, everyone, and welcome to Style Esports Season 6. I'm your host, Shinkari, and I'm joined today by Thousand Eyes. Today we have we have LBK versus XFW. That's LBK Sapphire versus XFlow Esports. We have a best of three coming for you guys today. We're already getting into picks and bans, so we'll try to keep this as brief as possible. But Thousand, how you doing today?
I'm doing all right. I am ready and waiting for this game because I'm already seeing some great bands and yeah, I am ready.
Oh yeah, these are some already great bands to begin with. I mean, Udyr, Azir, and Swain, Nunu and Willem, Seraphine, and Vel'Koz going into these first pick phase. Now we see a lot of target bands here. That has to be what a lot of these bands are, right? Like we don't see a whole lot of like very strong meta champions in
Mhm.
these bands. Tell me
I
more
mean,
about
Udyr.
what you see from.
Udyr
Yeah.
is definitely a
Oh yeah.
meta ban, but the Nunu is specifically targeted at Adela. That is the only champ that they play. They have 73 games of Nunu, and the next highest is Sejuani with 5. So
Yeah.
very much taking that off the board. And the Camille pick is going to get traded for the Shen. The big thing with XFW's top laner is they basically play like a lot of kind of like self-sufficient top laners, and
Mm-hmm.
the Shen being one of the most played champions there, and very obviously very self-sufficient, can survive in kind of any kind
Mm-hmm.
of lane and neutralize it. So it's a great pick for XFW to get that and trade that for the Camille, I think.
Yeah, and I think Shen has a fairly equal matchup against Camille as well. I think it's also pretty important to note that Xflow Lemon in particular is a very devoted Shen player. I'll put it at that. With over 300 games over in the past 3 seasons individually. So 300 in season 9, 300 in
Mm-hmm.
season 8, 300 over 300 in season 10 as well. And this is like an insane amount of time that they have on Shen. So having them on the Shen here is going to be a really, really great time to watch. And Kaisa was also being picked up for Xflow. That's a very good 80
Mm-hmm.
carry right now, even despite, the recent updates to her as well. Jin also being picked up for LBK Sapphire here. Anything to note here out of these couple of picks, or is it just like these are two meta picks right here that are very strong?
These are the two picks that both these teams want.
Mm-hmm.
Jane and Kaisa are like the top 80 carries for both the 80 carry players on these teams. Prex and Baby Claps. They it's not surprising to see them kind of trade those champions. So once again, it is very kind of just everybody's trading what they want. They're kind of viewing these things, I think, as equals or fairly close to equal in terms of priority. The
Mm-hmm.
Janna is an interesting one because that was not one that I had listed as a champion elevated played,
Mm-hmm.
and it's not one you see a whole lot of. The
Right.
Galio here, flex pick, could be mid, could be bottom. Hammy
Mm-hmm.
does have some games on it, but the Janna I'm looking at here, and I am kind of curious how this is gonna play out because Janna is not the passive support a lot of people really think she is.
Right.
Nowadays, she maxes W, she goes for the comment, and she harasses the ever living crap out of you in lane. So
Mm-hmm.
this is an aggro lane, not a passive lane.
Right. And do you think this is more so because of Moonstone Renewer? What gave rise to more of like an aggressive Janna in the bottom lane
Honestly, it's been that way since Comet came out.
here? Mm-hmm.
And since her changes to her shield like a while back, where they like
Mm-hmm.
nerfed the cooldown on it super hard, she basically the shield became not worth leveling, and the next best thing was the W and to turn her into a poke mage. So that's what
Right.
she became. Um, but we are now into the second ban phase. As I figure out what words mean.
Yep.
Rumble taken out. That is a mid lane targeted ban. Josh Wally does play that a good bit. That is the most played champion. Sejuani also being taken out. So the next one down the list on Adela is getting taken off the board, and Adela is going to be on something that is definitely not as comfortable. The Hecarim also got banned. That is actually the next champion on Adela's list too. So
Oh no.
Adela
There's
is
just
going
so
on
many
something
jungle bans in this
different.
last. There's just so many jungle bans in this last
Mhm.
phase here. Do we expect Adela to just kind of pull something out of their pocket? Like this is going to be like a real strange pick, but it's going to end up working kind of deal?
Possibly you have the Lily. Ooh, the Ivern, that's locked in.
Ooh.
Okay.
Ooh,
Okay, this is gonna be fun. Actually,
Okay.
I really like this. So Ivern is a champion that Rainey does play a lot of in solo queue. Not as much in the ranked flex with the team, but
Right.
does have a good amount of games on that in solo queue, and that is definitely an annoying champion to play against. And now you're looking at a Galio, an Ivern, and a Shen that can all protect this Kaisa. It also gives the opportunity for Rue, the mid laner for Xflow, to pick a very aggro, like damage heavy carry mid laner here.
Mm-hmm. You see Anivia being picked up for LBK Sapphire here. It's another champion that just pretty solid in this current meta. Just another pretty meta pick. She did get a little bit of nerfs in the previous patch. She got like a couple changes to her Q, I believe. And yeah, she got changes to her Q and her ultimate.
Mhm.
Zac being picked up as well. Another so this is I love Zac. I think Zac is one of my favorite characters in League of Legends since he was released. I think he's a really cool champion. I'm excited to see how Adelaide plays him. So this will be
Ooh,
really fun to watch.
yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, so
Okay.
this is Rue's top played champion here.
Uh-huh.
So the Akali coming out, obviously that works really well with the type of champions they have. The Galio and Shen can follow Akali as she goes deep into the backline. The big issue that you're gonna have with that is the Janna is going to be really good at keeping Akali off the Jhin, but the opportunity can still be there if you play it correctly. So I'm looking at XFW's comp. It is a dive comp. It is a dive comp with a bunch of extra shields to kind of just facilitate both Kaisa and Akali doing untold levels of damage. LBK is a much more standard front to back kind of team composition here, as you got the Zac who can dive in and start fights, Jhin and Anivia, your kind of control mage and control AD carry basically, who are going to be staying super far back and just pumping out damage as much as they can. And then Janna to protect them and the Camille to kind of run interference in the middle of that. So
Right.
LBK, you're looking at something where if they get into objectives and they are kind of like 5v5 and XFW doesn't get the jump on them, LBK can kind of like walk those team fights through and probably win them. If XFW get the jump, they are going to just obliterate somebody, and then the team fight becomes much harder to execute.
Yeah. So looking at this team comp, right as it stands, right as we're looking at it, what kind of advantages are you giving either way? Which team comp do you like more?
Okay, so I think from a watching standpoint, I like the dive comp. I think that's a lot more fun. I also like seeing Ivern a lot more than I see Zac because I hate Zac personally.
Right. Complete opposites we have here.
Of course, yeah. So I think from a terms of execution, though, I think LBK has the easier comp to make work because there's a lot more room for error. When you look at, like Anivia and Jhin, they can stay really far back. Janna, all she's got to do really is watch for this Akali, and you hit R when Akali tries to dive in.
Right.
There's a lot of tools to try and stop this dive. It is going to be the big question is, can Xflow get everything going like exactly right, or are they going to falter, not put the gas pedal all the way down and leave that opportunity for a Camille ult to stop Akali from diving, or Janna to mess up this Galio diving in with the Akali? There's answers to the dive comp that aren't horribly hard to execute, but if you do a dive comp like this well, those answers are very hard to actually get in where you need them to be.
I don't know. And in terms of myself, I'm gonna give it over to Xflow. I think I really like Xflow's comp here. And while I do agree with you that if they falter just a little bit and the pieces don't fall directly into place, then that they're going to not have a great time. But Xflow is on a lot of comfort picks that are also very strong right now. Akali, Kaisa, Shen, like a lot of these, that's three characters that these players play a lot. These three characters that excuse me, these are three characters that these players have played a lot and also have gotten like a lot of time on, not just in this season, but in previous seasons a lot. We talked about Shen, we talked about Kaisa, we talked about Akali a bit. And, you know, with the Galio and Ivern to support them, I think that it's going to be very hard for Xflow not to get these dominoes to go in just the right way that they need it to be.
Absolutely. And yeah, it's I think this early game here is going to be important. We haven't talked about like lane matchups specifically. This is, I mean, Anivia's laning is not the greatest, and that is going to give Akali the time she needs to hit that level 6 point and then roam. And Anivia cannot follow the Akali if she runs into a bush. If she tries to run into one of these lanes, Anivia just needs to ping it, and the lanes need to respect it. And then looking at this bottom lane here, because the top lane, it is generally, it is a skill matchup. I would say probably more Shen favored. Especially knowing that Levin knows how to play the Shen. You've got the ability to dodge out the second Q from the Camille with a well-timed dodge. So should be a little, Lemon should be able to handle this matchup. The Jin, Janna, Kaisa, Galio, that is gonna be rough for Prex and Hammy, and they need to get something going there, or a lot of this composition is gonna start to struggle if the Kaisa can't get off the ground.
Right. Yeah, when you have a composition that's based around one character and that character doesn't get off the ground, you know, it's going to be very hard. You're going to have to really focus. So what you're saying is we're going to see a lot of attention towards this bottom half of the map, trying to the mid and the bottom, especially for Xflow here, when they're trying to get in order to get their win conditions online.
Yeah, I would expect so.
Okay. Where do you see the focus being for LBK? Do you see it about the same place? Do you see it at the bottom half of the map, or do you see it at the top half?
I feel like it could even be mid. Get the Anivia going. But yeah, bot lane I think is going to be the big point of contention for both these teams.
Okay. Okay, with that, we're just going to hand it over to just a quick break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more. We'll be back in the Rift in just a little bit. Hello, everyone. Welcome back. We are on Summoner's Rift. We got their two teams. We're setting up the lines of scrimmage, and we are ready to go off the bat. Wow.
Yeah, everyone's spread out here. Rue did get seen, but they're not gonna start the E, not gonna get the slingshot, so nothing big there. This is the early warding that everyone wants to go for. For people who aren't aware, getting the ward over by Raptors in that early game allows you to track the jungler because they're always going to pass that point. It's almost impossible to pass that, or it's very inefficient to not pass that point. So getting a ward there lets you track the jungler. You see which way they're coming from. You see how many minions they've killed, so you can see how much of their jungle they've cleared. It's an extremely useful ward if you can get it down early.
Yeah. It looks like a couple other wards we have here in the pixel brush on the top side of the river. And in this tri brush here has spotted out Hammy and Prey X here, so
Yeah,
I do know that they're looking for something cheesy there.
This is exactly what you do want to do. Baby Claps and Elevated, obviously they're not going to buy into it, but when you have an Ivern, you can cheese that that little tri-brush there, and when you have Galio Kaisa against what is basically a poke lane, getting that early health advantage is super crucial. So that was a good try to get something going, but obviously did not work.
Yeah. So now that we're finally in Summoner's Rift, was there anything that kind of like shown to you in your mind in terms of like runes, masteries, runes and masteries? Sorry. My season 3 brain is showing.
Yeah.
Starting items, so on and so forth.
Yeah, I mean, looking at it across... Ooh, whoa, yeah, we got flash
yeah,
here.
that's a great taunt from Galio. Already a huge amount of damage onto the John. Ignite is ticking. First blood goes over to Galio in the bot lane.
Yeah, they don't want to hear me talk. It's not about me right now. Yeah, great engage though. Hammy getting the early CC down, Elevated just kind of not paying attention there and went down early. Claps.
Ooh, we might be going in for another here. That's a great taunt. Good follow-up. It takes Jin to about down to half HP. And, you know, that's going to make him stay away for a bit, but it doesn't look like he scares him off the mid.
Yeah, Rainy sitting here wants to just really make this bot lane go poorly for Claps and Elevated here, but Adela sitting up on the top side. Lemon not respecting that his jungler's bot.
Oh, yeah, here comes the jump in from Zach. Is going to dash away. He's not going to be able to make him kiss, so he's just going to walk away.
We'll get the flash, though, so not a waste of time. And meanwhile, Rainy in the bottom side did not get anything. So... yeah, Prex and Hammy playing this bot lane super duper well. I did want to point out the exhaust Elevated has. I really like that pickup because it's going to mean whoever does dive in is going to get exhausted, and there's 2 points of damage on XFW's composition. It is the Akali and it is the Kaisa. If those go down, you are boned. Uh-oh, Servant.
Oh, yeah, we do have a little bit of a gank up in the top lane here. Zach is coming in, but it doesn't look like they're going to turret dive. Rainy is here on the side. Really well played by Lemon there, dodging a little bit backwards and then taunting through the Camille and then getting underneath turret.
Yeah, showing a lot of understanding of how to handle that matchup. Rue also doing really well in this mid lane here. The CS difference is huge, and the wave is actually still over towards the Akali there. So Josh Wally can't even walk up, just has to farm with this Q and try and survive until that level 6 when Anivia can shove in the wave a lot easier.
Yeah, just... ooh, we do have Hammy coming from the side here. He does mess up the Justice Punch, but he doesn't mess up the taunt. That's a huge amount of damage. It's going to force the egg. They're going to get a decent chunk of damage onto it, but they're just going to grab the passive here from the gank.
And that's fine, honestly. Hammy was not really needed in the bottom side there. They weren't going to really go for an engage again. And just go up towards that mid lane, get the damage onto Josh Wally, get the passive down, and make it even scarier now. Josh Wally can't move up and just rely on the egg to come back to life.
Yeah, and it also did kind of put Josh Wally at about the same amount of HP he had even before the gank as well. So nothing really, if we take a look at it, nothing really changed outside of just losing the egg there. So this is actually really, really good for Rue here.
Yeah, and the other thing too is Rue has control of this wave. Rue can shove it if he wants. Rue can have it sit there if he wants to. So Prio is going to be whatever Rue decides that that he wants it to be, because he just does not need to worry about it. Hammy now helping them take this dragon here. Ivern will confirm that. And Ocean Dragon early makes it even better now for Rue to stay in this lane safely.
Yeah, and I was going to ask if you think that any of these teams would be able to kill Dragon fairly early on, but it looks like with the priority that they had in bot and in mid, that Xflow was just very easy to pick up these to pick up that dragon there.
Yeah, and right now it's very easy to do because this Anivia just is not able to do much against this Akali. The tier needs to come through. Josh Wally needs to back right now, get that tier, start stacking that up, and make sure that he can actually, do something against this Akali here. The bait coming through. Lemon, though.
Yeah, Lemon is taking a decent chunk of damage here. The X-Tech ultimatum onto Ivern, forcing Shen away. There's a teleport coming in from the mid lane, but both of Xflow have backed away, so it doesn't look like they'll be able to get anything out of this. But Helpful Servant is pretty low here.
Oh,
so
Rue.
Launch himself. Yeah.
Rue wants this.
Oh, yeah, he's in the jungle. That's a huge amount of damage. Here comes the Stand United as well. They're trying to get the kill onto Josh in the Great Wall, but it's not going to be enough as the taunt is able to get around the wall. Now Zach is the target. He's trying to run for his life here. He's going to flash over the wall, and Helpful Servant is there to help out as well. And it looks like they're going to get a Gromp for their troubles. A couple flashes and a kill for Xflow in the top lane here.
Yeah, and taking the Gromp is no small thing here because now they have complete control of that jungle. Look at the level difference. Rainy's already level 6. Rainy has Daisy available. Adela is level 4. Like, he could not do anything. There was a level 6 and a level 7 mid and top laner coming through. There was not really much to do about Servant, or about Joshua Lee trying to run away there. This is already looking really rough. When a dive comp gets ahead, it is so hard to stop, and that small margin of error that we talked about is getting smaller and smaller with every step backwards that we see LBK take.
1.5k gold now separates these two teams at 8 minutes into this game. Still not a whole lot of tower plates being taken on either side just yet, so you might see some attention thrown towards the top lane as either team wants to try to grab maybe that Rift Herald. But as we said, a lot of attention is probably being put into this bot lane for Prey and Hammy to get ahead. Do you expect to see any sort of big changes now that we see those two kills that we saw, that kill that we saw on the top side there?
I will get back to that in a sec because I think bot lane is gonna. No, they're just gonna back off. Okay, never mind. I mean, really, it just makes it really, really, really hard for Josh Wally to do much. Luckily, Rue is kind of shoving this wave and kind of letting Josh Wally just clear it with the ultimate. It's going to be a little bit easier to clear now that the level 6 has come through, but it is just so scary now. The Verdant Barrier coming through on Rue already. This item is busted if you are in an AP versus AP matchup. It is the reason why this item did not exist for a while. It is the way the item used to work was kind of like a mini stacking effect when you were taking damage. Now it works exactly like Seeker's Arm Guard. And there's a reason Seeker's Arm Guard did not exist for an MR thing, because there's so many AP versus AP matchups, and it's so oppressive when you can get both ability power and magic resistance in the same item. Whoever gets it first is the one who wins.
Right, and we do see a tower dive in the bot side here. Hammy flashes over the wall, gets
easy.
the taunt as well. Rue, it does get hit by the turret. At least one helpful servant is now teleported down to the bot side and now trapped underneath the turret with elevated. And now here comes the dive as well. The giant ultimate comes down. Hammy is just standing there tanking the turret as much as he can. Rue's going to be able to find the kill now. Oh, Stand United has come in as well. They're now underneath the turret, and helpful servant is taken so incredibly low. The last turret shot is going to come through, but the magic resistant armor from the heroic entrance is not going to be able to protect him. That's going to be the consolation prize as 3 for 1 on the bot side underneath that turret.
Yeah, a really well executed dive here, and smart here to bring the Rift Herald in the mid lane. They're going to get a bunch of plates, get that first tower, I believe, actually. So not a horrible trade in terms of just like getting something for your buck here, but you don't like to see everyone going bot. The teleport being used, Stand United came off cooldown. It was used as soon as it came off cooldown. It did not come off cooldown until that last little bit there. Hammy getting a little low, but doesn't have to worry too much. And now we are just looking to see if LBK are going to be able to get something off of this mid lane turret being opened up.
I mean, if we take a look, like they nearly took the inner turret as well. So I actually think in terms of turrets, like that was a really good trade for TPW there. Like that was very, very good.
Yes, and normally I would agree with you, but with how gold like dependent this composition from X-Flow is, I feel like getting Akali 2 kills and getting a bunch of gold in the pocket of the carries for
X-Flow. Did end up getting the turret. Huh.
Yeah.
Excuse me, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
They got the turret. And like if this was like another assassin matchup where, you know, Anivia could roam around and make things happen, that would be great. But this is an Anivia. Anivia is not going to be like, yes, I have opened the map. I am now going to roam and make ganks happen. That's not what Anivia does. She just wants to shove the lane and then go to another tower and shove the lane. So this getting the influx of gold onto this Akali and, you know, the assist gold onto the Kaisa means that now this dive comp, which could just run at you and kill you with all the damage they have, is now even more capable of doing so.
Mythic items starting to come out here as well. Moonstone Renewer, that one item we love talking about. Ooh, wait a minute. Rue doing a lot of damage here. Yeah, they're just going to back away. Excuse me. Moonstone Renewer coming out for Ivern. Looks like a Sunfire Aegis for Zac and a Trinity Force for Camille. This doesn't look like anything super surprising. This looks like some pretty standard fare across the board.
Yeah. Ooh, good interrupt there.
Yeah, that John ultimate was very well placed, and will X-Flow follow it up? They really, really want this bottom lane turret here to free up Prey and Hammy on the bot side here, but it doesn't look like it's going to be this time that they're going to get the turret.
Yeah, Dayla's sitting there looking to counteract anything, but Ivern, actually no, Ivern's just going to show up and they're going to take this down.
Yeah, this is going to be the last little bit of health that they're going to need to take down this turret. And that's a decent chunk of gold going on to Prey and Hammy here when they already have a decent chunk of gold for themselves. I do want to say, Mr. Support, you stole a couple kills for your 80 carry. Come on, buddy.
Yeah, I mean, I'm more surprised that we didn't see Zac go down to that bot side and try and hold off that tower falling, at least until plates fell. I saw Zac over by the Krugs and thought, oh, okay, he's going to be there just when the Ivern shows up to stop them from taking the tower. Then he flew over to the red buff and lost the tower anyway, and I was like, there's 30 seconds left. Just go to that tower, make sure the plates don't fall, and you at least stop a bunch, you know, a good chunk of gold going into Kaisa and Galio's pockets.
And everything seemed to have slowed down just a little bit as folks try to just kind of jockey around for positioning here. No big neutral objectives are up in the jungle just yet to fight over, but Hammy might have found Adelaide here. Gets the taunt on to Camille. The rest of the team is here to as well. Stand United is on to Rue, and they're looking for the kill onto Anivia, but it looks like she's flown away just a little too fast. They're trying to find the target here, but they just can't do it. It looks like they're just going to settle on the blue buff for now. Josh Wally and Elevated waiting on the sides here. They're waiting on the wings. It looks like they want to try to do something, but it looks like oh, come on, blue buff. All Blue buff finally goes down. Xflow was able to pick it up. Blue buff goes over to Shen and Ivern. That's the big plus side of having Ivern on your team. To share those buffs. Sharing is caring.
Sharing is caring. That honestly went really well for LBK here. They got the Shen ult out. They got out of a really sticky situation, and all they really lost for it was the blue buff. They didn't give any kills over. They lost a little bit of jungle vision, but ultimately that looked like it was going to go a lot worse, and they didn't have to blow any kind of summoners or anything. So with the Shen ult being down, they can actually look for a little bit of opportunity here, where they can try and go on somebody and not have to worry about Shen kind of screwing with their plans.
Right. It looks like
Man,
do. Sorry, go ahead.
That Ivern skin is terrifying when it talks.
Yeah, come on, why'd you have to make him scary? He was such a good boy. Gosh. He even tries to hook blue buff up with Daisy. It's real cute. No. I just hate him being scary. Why'd you have to make my boy scary? No. Dragon is now started up for Xflow, and it looks like LBK is now here to contest. Rue might be on the wrong side of this team fight, though. He is caught up. He's snared underneath, knocked up into the air by Zach here, and he's going to be able to get away. Dashes back in, though. There's Galio, gets the knockup, gets this taunt. The dragon is not able to be stolen away, but the fight has now started. Rue is now in the middle of baby claps and the entire enemy team. That's a huge knockup from the Justice Punch. Rue is going to go down, though, and now Prey is now getting onto Adelaide in the back line here. He's taken so much damage. Flashes over the wall. Now he forces the passive to proc, and now the Zac Slimes are the target. They're going to be able to pick up a kill here. 2 for 1, but now they're going to continue going as Camille stunned up. The Anivia wall comes out a little too late. Double kill for Prey. And that's going to be a 3 for 1 in favor of Xflow.
Yeah, burning the flash to try and get in on that dragon. Adela then just kind of has to run away the rest of the fight, and a massive Galio ult came through, knocked a bunch of people up. And one of I think the biggest understated things there was the Moonstone Renewer and how much health it really gave. It didn't let Rue survive, but it let Rue survive long enough that they had to put a lot more resources into killing this Akali before they could turn things onto the Kai'Sa. And at that point, the Kai'Sa had already ripped them apart and won the fight for them.
Looks like Xflow is just picking up an easy Rift Herald here for themselves. It's going to go on to Prey. And where do you think they're going to be bringing that Rift Herald? What lane do you think?
Honestly, I don't know. I'm kind of confused as to why Prex picked it up instead of giving it to Lemon, because I feel like that's the person you really want to have it. Put Lemon in a side lane with the Stand United, use the Rift Herald, let them shove that lane and make somebody answer Lemon while the teleport cooldown is down. Helpful Servant here is going to go on Rue, and there is the Elastic Slingshot.
Yeah, the Elastic Slingshot, the Hextech Ultimatum, but here is Stand United as well. Here comes Lemon in as well, but it's this teleport from Josh Wally as well. Rue is so incredibly low. That's a huge amount. That's the last bit of damage that they need in order to take him down. And now Lemon is the target, and the rest of the team is there. That is a 2 for 0. And meanwhile, the mid lane, that's where they're going to put Shelly.
Hey, yeah, now I see why Prex had the Shelly instead of Lemon there. They're able to use that in the mid lane, force them to respond to it at the very least, and get some towers out of it. They're actually going to win out on the tower trade. But both the Shen Stand United going down for nothing, and 2 kills going over. Zach did pick up 1, and I believe it was Helpful Servant that got the other. But regardless, point being, they got a lot of gold out of that, and they stuffed a lot of the tempo that Rue and Lemon really had. They were always the one kind of pressuring Servant and Josh Wally and making them kind of respond to whatever they were doing. Now, because they answered it so well, LBK have more of an option to get things going and make Xflow respond to them.
Right. And now that the jungle is now opened up so much on the mid side, it does now free up Rue to kind of roam around and just kind of put themselves in whichever lane they want. They do also have teleport as well, so this does allow Rue to kind of just go into a side lane, and even if they're needed somewhere else, they, you know, Akali can roam fairly easily. They do have a lot of mobility tools, and they also have tier 2 boots at this point, so being able to move around the map is fairly easy. And that's a lot of space in the jungle open up as well, so I'm definitely looking out for Rue to be roaming around the map a lot more at this stage.
Absolutely. That is kind of going to be the goal of the Akali. I think at this point, you're going to be looking to try and make picks onto Claps. And Claps elevated, Josh Wally even. And those are going to be the targets right now if you can catch them running around alone. If LBK are able to group up consistently and kind of force these fights and force the Shen to enter them, or even better, force the fights while the Stand United is down, those are the times where LBK actually has an opportunity to win out on these fights. Right now, the Stand United is available, so it is back up, and Dragon will be spawning here in about 30 seconds, XFW, with the control of the area right now.
Yeah, they have been clearing out a bunch of wards, even for like the past 30 seconds, close to a minute now, so it's good that they've been able to get this vision control, even clearing out a lot of vision wards here. This is probably going to be where Stand United is going to be the most useful. This is also Cloud Soul for them, so this is a very important trade.
Yeah, they've been just chomping on those dragons. And right now, we're looking Rue on the side there. If they can catch Rue out and get the Shen ult early, that is a huge win for them. But they gotta make the right call. They gotta go in at the right time.
Yeah. It's also very important for Rue to get in at the right time. Getting a little late or a little too early, and they could get punished really hard. And here's this fight here. Adelaide just immediately goes into the back line here and already takes a huge amount of damage. Camille is the first one to go down in this fight. Hammy is now in the back line. It gets a knock up onto the Zac. The hero, the Justice entrance is not going to get a huge amount. So Helpful Servant is now on the back line here, taken very low, and that's going to have another kill as well. Yep, Adelaide is now there, trying to get the last bit of damage. Lemon is still in the middle here. Yeah, here comes in Roof on the backside, going to get a huge amount of damage, and that's going to follow up. The next kill is now 3 for 1 now, and they're going to find the 4th kill onto the Zac as well. 4 for 1, and now they're also going to be picking up this dragon.
Yeah, and that fight was all over the place there. It started off actually pretty well. Servant helping dive onto Prex with Adela, and then getting the kill onto Prex there, taking Kaisa out of the fight early, but Rue was able to clean it up. The Shen also, Helpful Servant then dove, trying to get Rainy, because Rainy got super low, and taking out the jungler was going to be huge. The issue was Rainy was able to kite it out, and the Shen came over, peeled for his jungler, and Helpful Servant basically wasted his time trying to dive that. On the backside there, Rue did not really take any damage and was able to clean up Josh Wally, get him out of the fight, survived, but out of the fight, and Baby Claps did fall as well. So hectic fights working really well for the Akali.
Yeah, definitely, for sure. And we take a look at the map now. Wind Soul now picked up for these folks here, and Mythic items are now all across the board. Does anything kind of stick out to you about these item builds right now and as they stand?
Kind of confused. Not confused. Confused is not the right word. But the Frostfire coming through, not something that I see a whole lot there. Generally, like, I see the Sunfire just because the gold value there, and it makes Shen like super duper tanky and great at dueling people. I don't hate it. It's just I don't get what the reasoning was to go for the Frostfire, unless it was just like, oh, I want my Mythic and that's the money I have.
Right.
Everything else looks about what I would expect here. The Trinity Force over the Divine Sunderer is a little confusing to me when you do look at how big Shen can get. And allowing the Camille to be able to kind of handle the split push better, I think would be... Plus the extra healing that you do get from it, the in-fight durability, I think that would be more useful than this Triforce, because you're not going to be taking like uber long trades with the Shen. Shen's going to be able to dodge out on your stuff and back off, or he's going to just straight up win the fights, and at that point you don't want to be going for these long fights where you're stacking Triforce. And oh no.
Yeah, Rue might have found out Adelaide here. He does get the stand united. The taunt goes out. Also, Adelaide's now at half HP, forced to use the bounce and get everyone away, but it doesn't look like it's going to be enough. Actually, there's the Janna as well. The curtain call has come out. Doesn't look like it's going to be too much damage. It looks like it's just going to try to get them away, and it looks like Xflow is going to use this opportunity. Maybe start a fight at Baron?
Yeah, they're going to start it up here with Prex. They could take it down pretty quickly. This is gonna be a rough fight because the Dale is extremely low.
A couple ultimate tools have been taken away. Emil now teleporting in. Yeah, this does look like it might be the start of the fight. She's
Big
in
taunt.
there, and now Elevated is the first to go down. Camille is now the target as well, but they're able to find the shutdown onto Akali. The last shield goes down, 2 for 1 so far. They might have been scared off the Baron.
Yeah. Lemon's going to be able to TP back into this if they want to keep going for this. And with no jungler, the opportunity's there. The issue, though, is without Rue, these fights become very, very scary because Prex going down will mean they just get wiped.
Right. It looks like they're starting up the Baron once again. BK coming in from the side. Helpful Servant is the first one here. Baby Claps is also in here as well. There's the taunt, and the Helpful Servant is already taken so incredibly low. Wow, that's the first kill of this fight going over to Xflow here. And now Baby Claps is now the focus of this fight. He's taken low. That's going to be the double kill for the Kai'Sa as well. And Nivea trying to do her best to kite off this both Lemon and Akali here, but it's not going to be enough. Xflow comes over for the triple kill, and now they're pinging Baron once again.
Yeah, the fight kind of got a little lopsided there. I'm not sure what Baby Claps was doing up on the side there, but did not get any opportunity to go in, and now there's more taunts.
Yeah, there's another taunt getting onto Adelaide. They're trying to sneak in to try to get the kill, but now it's going to be Elevated, who's the one that's going to be taken down. Rue now looking for the kill on Adelaide, but still
they just
going
keep
to take
going
them
back
away.
to it.
Yeah. This is like that time in Overwatch when y'all are when people are like trying to extend the overtime timer, but they keep trickling in. It's just like no, guys, just sit on the, just touch the payload, just touch it. Oh my gosh, Adelaide really wants the steal. Yeah, they really want it. But it doesn't look like just wanting it is going to be enough. They're going to go down to Rue as Xflow does pick up the Baron here. All 5 members do get the Baron buff. They're going to be able to go back to base with so many kills and assists off that incredibly long Baron fight.
Yeah, when you are the team that is ahead and you have somebody who is as tanky as a Shen, you can really kind of do that all day. You have the Shen who can shield himself a bunch. You have the Ivern as well who can provide extra shields and kind of keep fights going, and your gold lead is so big that the damage you're taking from Baron doesn't really mean that much. We're seeing the Elder Dragon spawning in about 15 seconds here, and once again, Josh Wally is going to have to run.
Oh yeah, Rue is taking already an insane amount of damage has been taken by Josh Wally here. Rue is now looking for more blood, but he spots out the rest of the team. Is like, maybe I don't want this. Or maybe I was wrong, and Rue is caught out here. Here comes the heroic entrance coming in. It knocks up 2 members, taunts 3, and now Rue's diving onto the backline, going to be able to find the kill. There's the redemption coming out, but it's not going to be able to heal Rue. A teleport coming in now onto that thing from Nivea on the backside. Rue is still alive in this team fight. They still haven't killed him, and he's going to pick up another kill. Baby Claps trying to come around the corner and try the kill onto Rue with the 4-shot, but it's not going to be enough. An entire ace for Xflow here, and that might be the Elder Drake as well.
Yeah, that's going to be Elder Drake easy for them. Rue is just dominating this game, honestly. Like, going super deep and not dying consistently. The Galley Wall was really, really huge there. Hammy bought a lot of space for Rue to be able to... They were so busy trying to run away from the taunt that it just let Rue dive onto Elevated, blow him up immediately, and then proceed to chase this Jhin out of the fight entirely. So Rue is just controlling every single fight.
Yeah, and we have to speak to how long Rue just stood in that fight as well. Just so much healing that Rue had. Even when it looked like he was slow, he wasn't. But here comes another engage from Adelaide here. Lemon is now underneath turret and taking a huge amount of damage. The curtain call, looking for the kill on, it's not going to be enough. Rue underneath turret, and he's going to fall to the Anivia ultimate. But the first Nexus turret has been taken. Hammy picking up a lot of damage on the Josh Wally after the taunt and the slam. Whoa! What? Oh, yeah. That's Elder Drake right there. That's going to be picking up the kill. 1 for 1.
The burn.
On X-Fay here, yeah.
Yeah, wow. The burn meant that Elder Dragon was going to claim the Anivia one way or another. Rue did fall, and they weren't able to close out the game. Still have one Nexus Tower available, but they are limping along right now. LBK really just trying to struggle and stay alive here as bot lane tower is going to fall. Every lane here is on the menu.
Yeah. It's like, would you like something from column A or would you like something from column B? And they just said yes.
All you can even say.
Adelaide getting underneath turret here, going to try to knock up Hammy and get them away from the turret. Looks like it's going to be a little bit more successful. Without a minion wave, they're just going to back off here. But looks like somewhat of a 1-3 run. No, looks like they're just back and cashing in their gold here.
Yeah, they want to do as much damage as they can.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and actually what is interesting here is you're seeing Rue is the same level as Prex right now.
Mm-hmm.
So like it's not even that Rue is like majorly ahead in terms of like experience or anything. It is just pure gold. The stats coming through are so huge and hard to deal with that Rue can just run into that backline, just mess with people all day long and just have a grand old time here, as bot lane looks like it's going to be once again the target. Lemon sitting up top side has level 17 right now and is capable of ulting at any point.
Yeah, and it looks like they're just trying to focus on the lanes that don't have super minions. They're like, hey, you have to devote at least 1, maybe 2 people to these super minions so that they don't focus on your Nexus. Because remember, there's still only 1 Nexus turret there. There's only 1 left. And I don't think 1 Nexus turret can handle a super minion for an incredibly long time. Adelaide coming in, going to knock up on Ivern on the back line, but he's just going to immediately walk away. Runau's underneath turret once again is taking a whole mess of damages between so many members of the blue team here. 1 for 1 trade as Lemon picks up the kill onto Humble Servant. Now Hammy's looking for another taunt. He's not going to be able to find it. They're knocked into the air, and the Anivia wall was really, really good. Now Jhin is rooted underneath the pretty close to the turret here, and now here comes the curtain call. 1, 2, 3, 4. He's not going to be able to find anything, but here comes the elastic slingshot over the wall. He's knocked in the air and rooted at the same time, but Lemon is so tanky. He's barely taking any damage. Adelaide is now the focus. He does have passive, so he's going to go down while Prey just sneaks in a kill onto Elevated, I guess. Adelaide is going to be the next kill as well. X-Flow picking up 3 kills and only losing Rue in this bot side here.
Yeah, and they just cannot burn through Hammy and Lemon. They're too beefy. They're too tanky to get through. Teleport's going to come through from Rue here to just create the space there. I thought that fight was going to go differently, but it looks like it's just going to be the game here.
Yeah, Humble Servant getting taunted there and using her slingshots in order to get away. X-Flow is now going to focus onto the Nexus, and now they're just going to try to do their last-ditch effort, their last gasping breath, but X-Flow, they are going to pick up this game 1 win.
Yeah, and in pretty clean fashion here too. Looking at Rainy and Hammy here, 2-0 and 20, 3-0 and 19 respectively. Deathless games and amazing KDAs here. Specifically, like Rain, actually both of them 22 out of 28 kills they were involved in. So they absolutely were able to just kind of like always be where they needed to be to win these fights out. We saw Hammy ganking the mid lane a little bit, really putting more and more pressure on Josh Wally when Rue was already winning the matchup alone, and there was no opportunity for Josh Wally to come back into the game. The front-to-back team fight couldn't ever happen because the gold influx that XFW was able to create in the early game was just way too strong.
Yeah, and we saw just a bunch of times when, even when they took some even fights, that, you know, there was a lot of times where just X-Flow just came out on top. And I feel like there were also some like interesting decisions, I'll say, from Adelaide here, from where like maybe they were trying to like sneak a smite or try to steal a buff away and just be a hero maybe too many times. There was that the first thing that comes to mind is a dragon fight where they just walked in towards all of X-Flow in order to try to smite steal it away. And another time was when that extended Baron fight where they were just like, oh, they'll totally won't see me in this entire warded area, it'll be fine. And you know, they die 1v3. But you know, I don't want to sit here railing on one person saying that was the reason why they lost. But
yeah,
you know,
yeah, XFW just they played really clean. They understood what their team comp was capable of doing and executed that really darn well.
Right. Agreed. And with that, we are going to take just a short break as we set up game 2. Don't go anywhere. Style Esports will be back with more League of Legends in just a bit. Hello, everyone. Welcome back. Once again, my name is Shinkari. I'm joined once again by Thousand Eyes. We are bringing you Style Esports Season 6 X-Flow versus LBK Sapphire. We are now here in the picks and bans of Game 2. And right off the bat, this is a game. X-Flow just won their game 1, and now LBK is looking to turn it around. Already we see some bans off the bat. Nunu and Willump, Vel'Koz, Rumble for X-Flow, Udyr, Shen, and Ivern for LBK. Thousand, what do you think of these picks and bans so far?
Yeah, I'm not surprised to see the Shen down there. It did not seem like LBK had much of an answer to it, and the Ivern as well. Just Rainy was just kind of running wherever he wanted to. So I'm not surprised to see either of those two. XFW, same bans as last time, just really taking off the comfort pits. The Seraphine actually coming through there. Actually, we do see the Rumble instead of the Seraphine from last game. Seraphine getting through picks and bans. Easy first pickup every time.
Yeah, I mean, Seraphine has been incredibly powerful that we've seen since her debut almost. Just the amount of long range, her long range ultimate is nothing to sneeze at, and she uses that Moonstone Renewer very, very well. So this is just another Moonstone Renewer support, and Lulu being picked up for LBK.
Yeah, an interesting counter pick. Well, not a counter pick, but a pick against the Seraphine here. That Katarina's not getting locked in.
There's no way.
There's no way. Okay, yeah. Kaisa,
Yeah.
gonna be the swap over. Lulu Kaisa, great pairing. But in this kind of a lane, that is extremely low range against Seraphine, and that is exactly what she wants.
Right. And it's interesting to me that they first picked Lulu. My thoughts usually on Lulu that she's more of like a counter pick for when you see like a melee supporter, something that's very close range. And while Lulu Kaisa is good, usually you want to pick Lulu to go against something, not for something. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, like, or just when there is like, when you know that you are going to be able to kind of just safely play it. Even if it's not like, oh, it goes well against these things specifically, it is that it just doesn't lose super hard. In lane, right. Lulu is not able to provide much against poke supports like Seraphine. We are seeing Renekton and Hecarim XFW going for another really aggressive mid-game composition here. So the Hecarim and the Renekton do not like Lulu. So the Lulu in that sense, like hindsight 2020 works out, but in lane it is going to be really, really rough. So it is going to be up to LBK to try and get themselves to that mid game.
Right. And how much do you think is this Hecarim pick mostly just to keep Adela on something that's uncomfortable to them?
I mean, I think that's the main thing, to be honest, because we did see it get banned out the last time, and you know, with the Seraphine being taken, they took the Renekton early. This is another pick that Lemon has a good amount of experience on. Not generally a losing matchup, but is very self-sufficient. Gonna be okay against the Wukong. Wukong will be fairly annoying early on, and that is helpful servants, like one of their really big lane bully types of champions here. As we do see bans coming through: Anivia, Zac, MF, Azir. So LBK gonna be swapping their jungler and mid out here. I'm kind of curious what they want to go for here, because the mid lane is going to be a huge game comp changer, if you will.
Yeah, Azir being banned away here and not the Akali, which is interesting. What do you think about the Azir ban over the Akali ban, especially since they did a lot more targeted bans from X-Flow's previous team composition?
I don't mind leaving the Akali up, because look at the composition LBK has put together. You have Kaisa, who can peel herself. You have Lulu, who can polymorph the Akali. You have Sejuani, who is extremely good at locking people down. Like, picking Akali into this as opposed to the last composition, I think is really, really rough. Vayne getting picked up here, that I was not expecting, actually. Definitely does kind of like work with this, like, okay, mid game we're just gonna run at you type of composition. But when you look at something to pair with a Seraphine, I would have thought something a bit more long range.
Right. Usually folks will play Ezreal or Caitlyn when they play with a Seraphine just to introduce more. Oh,
Okay,
or maybe we were wrong the whole time.
We got baited.
Yeah, we got baited and outsmarted apparently. So it looks like Seraphine is going to be Rue's play and character in the mid lane here, and Rel and Vayne are going to be in the bottom lane. Tell me about this Rel Vayne bot lane.
This is we are going to just level 2 jump on you. Rel, I love this champion. I'm garbage at this champion, but I love this champion.
Oh yeah, so cool.
Yeah, she is really cool. She level 2, she is aggro as heck. The Victor being taken here, I like this Victor against the Seraphine. It's just a farm matchup. The Vayne Rel though is like, we have so much crowd control. And it buys so much time for Vayne to be able to pump damage out. Rel exceedingly good at peeling for the AD carry, because all you have to do is hit E and boom, there's a stun field around the AD carry. And if you can line that up well, if you can like dive well, that is really good. The one thing I do see a lot of Rel players not handle exceedingly well is Rel's initial W, like the jump slam down into the armor off of the horse, is very slow and very telegraphed.
Right.
Rel is not great as a primary form of engage. That's why having something like the Hecarim that can dive in, or having a Seraphine ult that can start the fight from a distance, is really good, because follow-up engage or counter engage is where Rel really, really shines. And when you have the ability to set things up for her, she can just utterly demolish fights with a W ult combo. And all of that with the Seraphine too, you're giving a lot of extra space to this Vayne, despite the fact that there is like a Wukong and a Kai'Sa that could dive onto her.
So this is definitely an interesting bot lane we got here. I'm really excited to see Rel. I think this might be the first game I've ever casted with Rel in it. So I'm actually really, really excited to see Rel. I am very excited to see Vayne, because that's not a character you see very often in this current meta. Usually we like to see Jhin or Ezreal or Kai'Sa, but this will certainly be very, very good to see. Victor and Wukong are also really, really fun. So there's a lot of really fun picks in this game. I'm really excited to see how everything shapes out.
Yeah, and I mean, the other thing to keep in mind too is Vayne's level 2 is not bad. People underestimate how much damage Silverbolts does in the early levels, because when you combo it with press the attack, the auto Q auto is really, really powerful. And Kai'Sa and Lulu are not exceedingly long range champions, so those auto trades can happen fairly quickly, and they will give a huge lane advantage. And like we said, Lulu doesn't have much to do, to give in terms of getting her AD carry back up to health after a bad trade. So that is going to be a very volatile matchup. If one wrong move happens, Baby Claps and Elevated are going to be stuck on the back foot.
Right. So now that we've kind of given some stuff, where do you give your advantage here? What team comp do you think you like more?
Just looking at team comps, I like both these comps actually. I think they're pretty good. Once again, LBK running the kind of more standard composition of a front to back control mage, the Kai'Sa with, a protect champion, protect Lulu, tank in the jungle. They've swapped out the champions, but the core of the composition still stays the same. XFW still running a good bit of dive, but definitely a little bit more front to back. I think their front to back is better. The Seraphine ult. Seraphine is just really nuts, guys. Yeah. Seraphine is really ridiculous. Hecarim, very strong, very good at engaging or being a secondary engage. And I think the Renekton is really going to be able to put a hurt on this Wukong. if given the opportunity.
Right. And I believe, like, you know, we keep talking about Seraphine, like Seraphine this, Seraphine that, and Seraphine is just very, very strong right now. I believe there was a Reddit post maybe like a week or a week and a half ago about a guy explaining like everything that's broken about Seraphine, and like especially like the long range ultimate, the amount of poke damage that she has, and like he even, like, at the very end of the post still sticks out in my mind of like, you can disagree with me in the comments all you want, I will continue to farm elo over and over again with Seraphine. So Seraphine is very, very strong right now. Moonstone Renewer, Staff of Flowing Waters, and her insanely long range ultimate that has a charm on it. Just like, it's just insane the amount of tools that Seraphine has in combination with the Mythic items.
Yeah, it is obscenely strong here. And I mean, the other thing that I am going to be watching too is what is the Hecarim going to be doing against Adela here? The Sejuani, not known for her early game prowess of clearing the jungle and staying healthy. Hecarim, on the other hand, has a lot of early game dueling potential. And with, you know, depending on how these lanes shake out, you could be seeing possibly Prex and Hammy getting a lead and Lemon getting a lead, which means Rainy can just run all over the jungle.
Right. But with that, we are going to jump into just a quick break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with game 2 of Xflow versus LBK Sapphire. Don't Welcome back, everyone. We are on the Rift for Xflow versus LBK Sapphire. Game 2, excuse me. For some reason, I have TP. Yeah, I don't know why I have TPW stuck in my head. I have no idea what that means.
TPW, you know,
yeah,
you get toilet paper and you win.
Toilet paper win. Yeah. That's...
Yeah. Do we? Yeah. So hashtag TP win and hashtag XFW XF win.
Yeah. I'm so sorry. I don't know why my brain I have that in my brain, but we do have pretty much standard lines of scrimmage between both teams right now. Nothing too out of the ordinary from these starts. A little bit of poke damage
Oh,
onto
that's
a daylight
interesting.
here. Hmm.
I didn't
What's
think
up?
about this. So Sejuani's passive means she can't be slowed, which
Mm-hmm.
means Seraphine's E can't root unless Sejuani's already stunned.
That's funny.
That's actually really interesting. I
Huh.
completely forgot about that because she should have gotten rooted there, but because of the passive, she just didn't get slowed, which meant the E just did damage.
Yeah. That's really funny. I like that a whole lot. Next level games. That's why they're playing and I'm casting.
Exactly, yeah. Servant, oh, lots of trading in the top lane here. That is absolutely in favor of the Renekton because he's got the healing in that matchup.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I pretty much that's what I'm pretty much expecting throughout this entire like early game here. I think Renekton just has a better early game than the ooh. Okay. Let's just trade back and forth. Renekton has a better early game than Wukong, but I feel like Wukong just having the AoE knockup and slows in the late game
Yeah.
is going to be a lot more valuable.
Yeah, that's kind of going to be the big thing. The passive from Wukong and the knockups are going to be really, really big in providing a little bit more late game viability. Level 2 coming through. One of the big things you do have to watch out for Rel early game is her ability to W onto the horse, flash, grab somebody, knock them up. Oh my god, Lemon, you are insane. Speaking of,
Oh yeah, speaking of Lemon just being a little too far forward, he's gonna flash underneath the turret. No! Oh no, he's in no man's land right now. He's gonna try to execute, I guess. But Adela is following up, flash over the wall. There's the mace, there's the first blood. And the assist is going to go over to Helpful Servant as well. Wow.
yeah, that was
Helpful
that
Servant
was
didn't
just
even flash
really-
on Wukong there.
Yeah, no, just use the W. Just got the W and just immediately used it, got the clone and faked him out.
Yeah.
I mean,
wow.
almost a really good escape from Lemon there. Did force the flash out of Adela, and that will be, yeah, Rainy getting in the way.
Oh yeah, Rue coming in from the mid lane here. He's getting a decent chunk of damage, but now Jesh Wally is here. He's going to scare Rue off of that trade, but that scuttle does go over to X-Flow here, so they are able to double crab Adela, which if Adela didn't get the first blood would have been devastating for the jungler.
Yeah. And Rainy was playing that really intelligently too. Walked in front of the Sejuani, trying to block, knocked him back further into the pit, and tried to block the dash over the wall. Hit the champ, make sure that the dash would go into the Hecarim and stop, but did not get it successfully. And like we mentioned, the slow immunity coming in clutch there meant that Rue could not get the root down and could walk away cleanly.
Yeah, no. Gold is pretty much evened up. For those who haven't seen her before, this is Rel. This is one of the newer champions in the game right now. Sum it up in a couple words. Rel has a horse. The horse also turns into pants. So
Yeah, she has horse pants.
yeah, she has horse pants. Do you think Rel wears her pants like this?
I knew you were gonna
Or
make
like
that.
this?
We talked about this last night, and as soon as you were like, "This is Rel, she has a horse," I'm like, "He's gonna go for the dumb joke. He's going for the stupid joke,
Oh man.
the incredibly small amount of brain cells joke."
Well, I have a brand when I'm casting on other places. I need to make sure that my brand is known here too.
Yeah. Yeah, like you had brought up though earlier on, the Lulu does work well into melee matchups. Can get a lot of poke down. Her damage early on is not inconsequential, and Hammy has to pick the engages carefully. When you go in with Rel, you don't come out most of the time, whether that be a good thing or a bad thing. You hop off the horse and you are incredibly slow, like 280 base move speed slow.
We do see Adela coming in from the river here.
Okay.
Oh yeah, that's a interesting gank.
Okay. The goal here is just shove it in so they can back.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Just to make sure they can back safely, shove the lane in, and get out.
Yeah, that's definitely the point. Yeah, everyone's backing off here.
Because it just kind of like seemed like they were trying to go for a gank.
Yeah, it was just a little. It took me a second. Like, what are they doing? Are they alright? Like, I'm not sure if that is the method you want to use in order to get kills here, but yeah. They did get kills. It was just on the minions. It's fine.
Yeah, although the harass from Hammy might actually force them to stick around here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Hammy did have a ward in the bush, caught them backing, and stopped it. Although now with the push in the mid lane, they're going to try and get this dragon. Hammy's going to come up and see it and make him back off.
Yeah, this with losing. See, the thing is here is that they were really smart. Since the scuttle spawned topside, they're like, okay, if Rainy is going to grab the ooh, wait, we might have a gank here. Yeah, Helpful Servant is taken very low, has used the ultimate, and now Rainy is here as well, uses the second trigger of the ultimate, but is not going to be enough. Lemon is going to pick up a revenge kill onto Wukong in the top lane here, and that's going to be a 1-for-1.
Yeah, and once again, Servant just kind of not paying attention to where his jungler is at. Adela up on that bot side, so you have to assume the enemy jungler is up top side. Of course, Lemon gotta be getting this dragon.
Yeah, that's going to be the red team, but oh my god, that's a 3-person charm. Preyax is now looking for the kill, but the Condemn is not going to slam Lulu up against the wall, but Rainy is going to be able to find the kill onto Baby Claps, and now Josh Wall-E, he is the target. The ultimate from Rainy is going to come out as well, and that's going to be a double kill, 3-0, but oh no, Rainy is looking for Adela here. She's around the corner. She's going to try to use the Sejuani ultimate, but she's going to get knocked into the air by Hammy, and that's going to be 4-0 across the board. Oh my lord.
Yeah, and you have a Fed Hacker M already now. So we talked about how Rainy, if ahead, can make that matchup go horribly, horribly wrong. And Rainy is now 3-0, has the Sheen, will have the Divine Sunderer, I'm assuming, coming up fairly shortly, is up 2 levels once again. Yeah, they got the dragon, did not get a lot else out of that fight.
Yeah, I mean, it was a fairly safe call. Oh yeah, Rainy's coming in onto Helpful Servant here, but he's gonna knock back the clone here. Helpful Servant once again trying to do the S juke. A little cheeky, but it looks like he's going to get away there just as he gets underneath turret.
Yeah, Renekton does not have a lot of skill shots, so there's not a lot to juke.
Mm-hmm.
But did
well, the
use the
S
clone
juke,
pretty effectively.
the classic S juke for those that don't know, Wukong has an ability that turns him into a clone, but the clone stands completely still. Oh, I'll have to take that off as a second. Hammy has found Josh Wall-E here. There's the stun phase, but that is going to stun him up. Hammy, yep, but is it going to be enough? Hammy's going to have to also pop the storm as well in order to get away. That's a lot of resources spent right there.
Yeah, and Hammy making good use of this Rel right now. Rel on the horse has extra movement speed. Not just like she's very slow off the horse, but actually fairly quick on it, which means she can roam really well. And when she hops off, she is very beefy and able to kind of like basically gank very well. Adela sitting up here on the top side. Gonna be spotted out on a ward, but yeah, Rel really good at roaming, and Hammy making good use of that.
Yeah. To finish up my statement, the Wukong S juke is where you press the S key in order to stand completely still and make people think that you are the clone when in fact you are not.
Baby Clap's taking a lot of damage here.
Yeah, that's gonna be Prey looking for more. Not going to be enough though. He's gonna get a little bit of return damage, but no kills in the bot lane here.
But yeah, they shove him out, force him to back, and that is control of that bottom side now. Lemon winning this top side, and mid easily going in favor of Rue here. Every single area of the map is winning for XFW right now. And I don't know what the call here is for LBK. Like, when literally every lane is losing, it is hard to try and be like, let's make some kind of move happen around the map.
Yeah, and even when they did try to make like a pretty smart call, like it was severely punished. Like I think the call onto Dragon was pretty smart considering that they had just seen Rainy in the top lane, and then immediately they just lost 4 deaths on top of that. But looks like we might have a gank in the bot lane here. Baby Clap's getting a little close here. Hammy is taking a bunch of damage. He's now the focus. Here comes the teleport in from Lemon. That's going to be a huge stun here. That's a great ultimate coming down from Lulu, and the teleport is coming in from Helpless Servant as well. And now the Hammy is the first to fall in this fight. Wukong is coming in. That's 2 knockups onto Exlo here. He's going to use the second ultimate. Another knockup onto Lemon. He's now stunned. He's underneath turret. He's going to heal back a little bit. Helpless Servant is taking so much damage. Is he going to be able to survive? That's the shield coming down from Lulu, and that's going to be 2 for nothing here. Now here comes Seraphine. That's going to be 1 kill underneath the turret. He's going to have to survive just a little bit longer. The shield is going to give him the second, and now Rue against Elevated and Josh Wally, and that's a huge amount of damage onto Elevated there. A 2 for 3, I believe, in favor of LBK here.
Yeah, and it started off, it looked really solid for XFW. Got a great engage from Hammy and the Magnet Storm to bring everybody in. Hit the stun on the follow-up, though. Helpful Servant came in, though, and really turned things around in that fight. They weren't able to get the kill onto Baby Claps. Lemon came in, tried to hit the stun. Hammy took a lot of damage. We talked about how once you go in on rail, you don't come back out, and Hammy could not get away from the Sejuani. And then Baby Claps able to stay alive for a long time. Did get out of that fight, I believe. But ultimately, then the damage from Servant and the just dive worked out really well. Then Rue said, I'm going to ult flash over the wall, which I did not know you could do with Seraphine. Completely just wiped out a huge amount of that great play.
Dragon now being picked up. Ocean Drake being picked up for X-Flow here. Inferno is the soul for this game. How do you feel about Inferno soul for either of these teams?
Really good for both.
Yeah.
I mean, I think more useful for LBK because Victor and Kaisa, you know, they like having that extra stats. Vayne doesn't get a whole lot out of extra AD. Not super great for her. She wants attack speed. Same thing, Rel, not really useful. Lulu loves it. Kaisa loves it. Both mid laners want it. Lemon.
Yeah, we have a couple ults being popped to the top line, but we have more ults being procced here on the bottom side here. 1 for 1 now across the board. Helpful Servant has taken down Lemon, but now the rest of X-Flow is looking on to Baby Claps, was not going to be able to find the kill. A 1 for 1 across the map. Now, does Adela want more?
He does.
There's the charge. There's the knockup. Hammy is the target, but they're going to be able to find the CC and return on a Hammy. That's, oh no, she's so incredibly low. That's going to be the kill. Oh no. Oh no.
Yeah, stuck around a little bit too long there, and the Killer Instinct helped Baby Claps confirm that kill. Josh Wally starting to hit that point where he's getting a little scary. Does, I believe, have the upgraded... No, actually does not, I think. Still working on that upgrade, if I am correct on that. It is hard to tell, honestly, with Victor. I don't know if... Okay, no, it does have the Death Ray evolved. Working on the next, which would be the Q, and then the W coming through will mean the ult is upgraded as well. Victor, great scaling mid laner and getting him some extra assists and kills. He loves being able to get further along his passive with those kills and assists.
We do see about 5k gold separates these two teams at 15 minutes in the game. X-Flow with the lead. Oh no, excuse me, 3k gold. I can do math. You see, that's why I'm screaming and you're the smart person, because apparently I can't do math.
That is a very common thing in our daily engagements.
3,000 gold separates our two teams. Are you making fun of me for that last time I was playing Civ? Come on.
Look. Just the last time you were playing Civ. Let's be real here. It was more than just last time.
All right. 3,000 gold separates these two teams in favor of X-Flow here. And both one dragon separates, tied up on dragons, one turret over the other, and it's the only turret taken in this game. I could have sworn another turret was taken at some time. but it is only that bottom lane outer turret at this stage of the game.
Yeah,
It's
mid's
actually
very
really
low.
interesting.
Yeah, mid is very low for her LBK because they did pop that Rift Herald, I believe, there. And we're looking to try and trade that, but did not get the kill on it. Helpful Servant actually really able to neutralize this lane, has the completed Mythic here with the Divine Sunder. There is the Vayne damage I was talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are missing pinging that. They're saying, what in the hell? Where did that come from?
Yeah. I mean, Vayne does sneak up on you. I mean, a lot of times I do agree with you that folks kind of underestimate the amount of damage that Vayne does.
They think, oh, she's a late game champion.
Yeah.
And then you get press the attack, Kraken Slayer, Silver Bolts proc on you, and you're like, oh,
right.
champion. You are a right now champion.
Yeah. Oh, I don't have resistances built yet. Right. Darn it.
Resistances don't help when you got true damage in your kit.
Yeah. Yeah, that also.
And
Kraken Slayer also adds to that as well. So.
Yep. Helpful Servant here has the Divine Sunder though, so definitely has control of this top lane right now. I'm a little surprised to not see it being pushed more, although wants to back, so is like topped off for this dragon fight in 15 seconds. Both top laners have the TP, both mid laners have the TP. Every summoner other than the flash for Claps and Adela is up right now.
Yeah, this definitely looks like it is going to be one huge fight. Infernal Drink, both important for both of these teams. And they're just jockeying for position here. Oh, Renekton coming in from the side. He's going to get stunned up, though. Wukong is going to knock into the air. And now Rel and Hecarim are trying to dive into the back line here. That's a good fear onto Victor, and he's going to be immediately taken down. Adela is now the target here. The charm comes down, and that's going to be Baby Claps going down as well. And now they're running underneath the turret. This might just be the ace, and it is a 5-0 in favor of X-Flow. Absolutely incredible.
Seraphine is nuts.
Yeah.
From the, like, near the pixel bush in river, and it went all the way over to wolves.
Oh, yikes.
And it hit Baby Claps from all the way back there, where there was a Renekton in the back line. That was absurd how long that ulti traveled, and it completely changed the outcome of the fight because of it. Because honestly, it looked like it was starting off pretty well for LBK. They got a lot of damage down. The Renekton seemed to be a little bit too deep, and Helpful Servant was onto the right people, getting into that backline and hitting the ult. But then the Seraphine Encore came through and completely just wiped so much of that out. Then the slow across three people after that even made it even worse and made the 5-0 come through. So Rue was the just massive carry in that fight.
Right, for sure. And you know, we keep saying it, Seraphine's real good. Pick Seraphine.
Pick or ban Seraphine, whichever you choose.
Yes. And like I don't want to downplay Hammy or Rainey's contribution in that fight as well. Yeah. Rainey had a huge ultimate to get Victor back into the team after trying to escape there. So a lot of all the whole team putting all their work together in order to get that really good kill there. They picked up the inner bot lane turret. They picked up a dragon as well. And you know, opening up the map more on Infernal map is really, really good, especially when you have a comp like X-Flow does that is pretty mobile, if you ask me. Like Hecarim, Rel, Renekton, they do really like roaming around this map. So opening up these places with a lot more avenues to get to the enemy team is really, really important here.
Yeah, they either want to flank or just run you down. So there's so much like opportunity here now with the Infernal Dragon, and with how much they've opened the map up. You can see Josh Wally on the bot side there, just trying to scrounge up as many scraps as he can. Has the Leandries finished, and now the Baron gonna be started from XFW here. They are forcing. Oh man, I'm starting to get flashbacks.
Oh yeah, they're doing it again. I mean, they're actually in a pretty good place to get it. Prey X with the Kraken Slayer Vayne is really good at taking
Vayne
neutral
can-
objectives.
Vayne
Oh,
can
yeah, we
take
have a
it
TP
now,
coming in.
too. It's Josh Wally.
Yeah. Ooh, they're
Little
able to
bit
pick it up.
snipe, but-
Oh, no, Lemon popping ultimate in the back line here, forced to jump over the wall.
Now they just run.
Yeah, they're just running out of here. They don't want anything to do with the rest of this team. They're just going to pick it up cleanly and walk away. Wow. That is really, really clean.
That's how far ahead XFW are, though. They are just so far ahead that they can do that, and LBK can't do anything about it. There's just no opportunities for them to come around and like check that Baron. You saw they didn't have any wards in their own jungle, so it was so scary to just walk up to the Baron. It was an early Baron, so it's like you're kind of like, well, they're not going to be doing it now, are they? And lo and behold, they were.
Yeah, it's kind of the same thing when we were talking about Vayne. It's like, yeah, she's a late game champion. No, she's a right now champion. Oh, they tried really hard to pick up baby claps there, but it doesn't look like they're going to be able to pick it up. They're just going to keep running down this mid lane.
Yeah, the mid lane gonna just get hit by this cannon over and over again. There is a bunch of damage.
Yeah. Preyax, a right now champion.
Yeah, the problem is that if they're going to fight, they can't just constantly take these trades. They're so far behind that these poke trades don't go in their favor. They need to just make an engagement.
Forced to flash in here. That's a 3-man ultimate followed up by Seraphine. Almost immediately 3 members just deleted as this fight starts. Not even a second to breathe as they now continue to push down and maybe end the game here.
Yeah, this is gonna be the game. They're gonna dive into this. Just that was absurd. On the same page.
Rainy. Maybe biting off a little bit more than he can chew now.
Fine.
Oh yeah, he's fine. Oh yeah, Adela is gonna be focused down here. Yeah, that's gonna go down. The Nexus is now the target. That's gonna be Xflow picking up game 2, and that's GG for Xflow's our winner here today.
Yeah, Xflow looking super duper solid too. Last game, they looked in control for most of the map. This game, they were completely in control. There was no chances for LBK to come back into this game, and the combination and the coordination that they had really impressed me. Hammy and Rue always on the same page. Rainy goes deathless the entire series.
Yeah.
Like, those 3 alone just utterly controlled this entire series, both games, and all of them deserve to be recognized for that.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, Rainy, I have to give it to Rainy. Like, he played 2 completely different champions in both games and excelled at both of them. Ivern and Hecarim. Those are complete opposite. Ivern's just kind of a support-ish. Like, he does a decent chunk of damage, but he just kind of sits in the back. Moonstone Renewer, I'm gonna throw a shield on you, and here comes Daisy, and then swaps to Hecarim in game 2 and plays that incredibly well. And that's what I have to hand it to for Xflow. Like, I'm just super impressed with play all around.
Yeah, Xflow, just the coordination they had. Just look at that last fight again. The Rel combo with the Seraphine, it was a flash R on Rel to get everybody grouped up, and as that happened, Seraphine was already ulting. They knew what they were doing. They knew they could just make it engage like that, and with their gold lead, just shove it down LBK's throats.
Yeah.
And they just, like, that is the mark of a good team. They knew they could finish it there, so they did it.
Yeah. Sometimes you just gotta press the go button, and Xflow did it. In 2 games in a row, we're able to take it 2-0 over LBK Sapphire here. TPW, it did it again. TPW popped into my head for some strange reason.
Toilet paper win.
Yeah, toilet paper win.
Toilet paper win.
But I'm fairly certain that does it for us here tonight. So on behalf of myself, the casters, the entire live broadcasting crew, thank you all so much for joining us here tonight, and we'll see you next time.